What's up, YouTube? We are back at it again. Hambone Show with you for week 12 of the NFL season here. We have Matt. There we go. I got it. Take two. We got it. Matt in the top left here. Troy in the top right. JMO. And of course, we got the Z-Man Zach coming in with lots of information and some funny things. We actually got a new segment here for you today, compliments of Zach. So how's it going, guys? How you doing?
Oh man, it's going good. Getting into the end of the season. Next week is probably my favorite week of the year. Love Thanksgiving, love that holiday, everything about it. So we're rolling.
Yeah, same. Calling in remotely this week, back down in sort of near some Atlanta Falcon territory on the edge of Georgia and Alabama. So doing a little scouting for next year, I guess. I don't know when we play the Falcons again, but yeah, doing good.
Very nice. Well, thanks for
Better now
joining
than
again.
Sunday.
Yes. Oh man, and we'll get into that. Especially check out our other episode if you're here with the Pickems. We always have the Honolulu Blue breakdown, usually released on Fridays. We're recording here Wednesday night. All right, we're gonna jump right into this. Is Zach's new Pick Your Poison. He threw some questions here for us, so we're gonna go picture at a time. All right, it's a lot going on here, but we're gonna have fun with it. So his question for us today, the first one is: would you rather? You get to pick your poison here. Would you rather have J.J. McCarthy, aka 9, or CJ Stroud for the next 5 years if you're running a NFL football team?
Do we get to see Zach's picks first?
Yeah, let me go with Zach's picks.
All right.
I think. Oh shoot, hang on. You guys go. You guys go ahead. Let me find his.
Take it away, Troy.
Well, I mean, this is probably going to be a surprise to you guys, but I mean, I got to go with JJ. You know, I'm been outspoken about my disbelief with Stroud. I still trust JJ. I mean, this is Michigan, Ohio State. So come on, give me JJ. Next 5 years, easy.
Man.
If he said next 5 weeks, I might change, but
yeah, no, that's a good one. I'm actually gonna go CJ Stroud. I just, from what McCarthy has shown, obviously he beat us fair and square. But CJ Stroud, yeah, he's kind of had a slump, if you will, the last, half a year, basically. But I think he's shown that he can run, he can be an athlete, and he can lead the team. But at the end of the day, it's just kind of he's shown me more. So
yeah, I'm with you on. That's so hard. I almost jumped right into Stroud. I almost want to go McCarthy. I mean, both. I'm not thrilled with either, and I think that's the part of the poison here. Like, if I'm the Vikings, I might go McCarthy. I'll go with Troy. I'll go with Troy here. Not super thrilled about it based on what I've seen. Zach's on Stroud.
All right.
Yeah, that would be an interesting dilemma.
That's kind of fun.
Like, yeah, McCarthy's still kind of a blank slate, I don't know.
Yeah.
Stroud's ceiling. We saw Stroud's ceiling maybe his rookie year, so that's a good one. Next, we have: is it more likely that the Chiefs or the Bears will miss the playoffs this year? And or like what might you want to see? Zach's going with the Bears here.
Yeah, this is an interesting one because obviously just based on record, the Bears are leading the division and the Chiefs are kind of, we'll talk about it when we get to their game this week, but they're kind of at a tipping point in their season a little bit, but more likely to miss the playoffs. The Bears have such a hard schedule coming up. They have played well. I'm giving them more credit, but man, I just can't bet against Mahomes missing the playoffs, I think. So I'm going to say the Bears are more likely to miss the playoffs, even though I think that's pretty low probability because they've got, a pretty good head start. But
yeah, I'm right there with you, Troy. I'm going to take the Bears too, more likely to miss out on the playoffs. It's actually really close though for me because you look at the Chiefs and they're, I think, 5-5 right now. And, they've lost to all the other teams that are kind of right in that wild card spot. You have the Bills, they lost to the Broncos. They already lost to the Chargers. I think I'm forgetting one more, but Yeah, that's going to be a tough road for them, especially, they've got the Colts this weekend. We'll see how that goes, but yeah, the Bears, uh, it, yeah, it's close. That's close.
Yeah, the Bears are lucky to have, what are they at, 7 wins? Or are they're
7-3
wins now? I feel like that's pretty lucky based on their games, but you know what? They find a way to win. You can't really discount a win in this league, no matter the luck. Just because I'm running out of space and for the fan pick, I think it'd be hilarious if the Chiefs missed out on the playoffs. That would be, that would be kind of fun to see. I know that's kind of being a hater because they've been so good, but it could happen. They're not in a good spot right now. And you know what? The Bears, they got a lead on us. That makes me a little nervous. I think we'll get into it later, but that last spot might come down to a few NFC North teams, I'll say. All right, there's one more here that we're going to do. Would you rather, pick your poison here, would you rather the Lions win a championship this year or the Pistons win back-to-back? Zach went with the Pistons back-to-back. And let me...
Wow. Yeah, for me, this one's pretty easy. I'm going with the Lions championship, and for the simple reason that we've seen the Pistons win a title in our lifetime. I think the Pistons are at the very beginning of what looks like a really big run with a lot of good young players. I mean, the Lions, you can't go against the Lions Super Bowl, though, in my view. So I'll take one Super Bowl over a back-to-back Pistons title.
Yep. I'm right there with you, Troy. Like, that's what I think we've been longing for the last 35 years. And we've seen the Pistons and love the team, no doubt about it. Cade and gang they're rolling, right? But I think MCDC, this whole group of Detroit Lions, they just deserve it so much, in my opinion. Obviously, very biased, but gosh, I think it would just be so fitting if they could win one here in the next year or two.
Yeah, how can you not pick the Lions after what we've been through? But I'm going to go with the number one team in the East, the Detroit Pistons. If you're going back-to-back in the NBA, you're starting talking a dynasty run here. They're young. They're gritty. Lions would be one and done. Like, it's so hard to win in the NFL as we know it and then make it to the Super Bowl, and we've never even been there. So it's like you could get a little dynasty rolling there with the Pistons, So I'll go with them on that one. All right, let's keep it theme here. Mashed potatoes and gravy was on the list. It's not in the text, but it was on his initial prompt, or stuffing. Where are we going, boys? Zach's going stuffing.
Yeah, give me stuffing, I guess. Not a huge fan of either, but let's say stuffing.
Oh, man. We are actually just talking about this today at work. I'm going stuffing as well. Like I said, this is like my favorite holiday of the entire year. Love the meal, love watching football. Then you got, another 3 days of the weekend. It's the freaking best. Love it. So give me stuffing.
If I had mashed potatoes alone, I'd probably go with that. I don't know, though. With the gravy, I feel like I like it without the gravy better. And I've had some knockout stuffing, too. So I'm gonna join you guys. We're going Hambonez guarantee on the stuffing this week. Thanksgiving, about 8 days away. Hope you all enjoy it with your families. All right, the standings. Not a whole lot of movement here. Zach is still on top. We all hit our locks. That's the +10 in green. Week 11 went pretty well, I would say, overall. I know I got a little cute. I think we were talking about that before we started recording. We had some cute picks last weekend and didn't exactly work out. Overall, we're all getting close here in the overall record. And yeah, Zach's got he's got his foot down on the pedal right now in total points. Kudos to Zach.
Nice. Yeah, he's rolling. Before we get into the picks, though, I do want to get into just a quick uni of the week. I'm going to go with the LA Rams last week, all black. I didn't love them completely, but I did like the all black, very different for them. So that was really cool to see. Maybe tweak a few things and it'll be perfect. Honorable mention, the New England Patriots. I think they could have done a little bit better with their rivalry uniform. I just didn't like the blue that they chose for the jersey. I did like the helmet, the white with the kind of the matte or the pastel blue. So I think a few tweaks here and there for both of those would be really good, but just some nice uniforms that we haven't seen before. So it was good.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the Patriots. I feel like I say this a lot, but there's so much like potential. It didn't hit. It didn't hit for me. I think when we were
Mm-hmm.
texting, Troy might have said like you just need a little more color to pop. Like it was a
Yeah.
little too mute almost. So
Yeah, like I feel like a little more red with the Patriot logo, maybe on the shoulder or something, or maybe even on the helmet. I don't know, something to bring it out a little bit. And the Rams were better than what I thought. I mean, when you announced them last week, kind of I was made the comment that not every team needs a black jersey, but when I watched them, I was like, they don't look half bad in those. So I would give them credit for trying it.
Yeah.
So
all right, this week's theme, the long-awaited anime. I've had this one in the bank for a while. This is definitely a JMO style. I know not everybody may love this, but it's more shout out to my childhood show, Dragon Ball Z, riding my bike to David's house to catch that on Cartoon Network back in the day. And here we go. Let's roll into Thursday night football, week 12. We got the 7-3 Buffalo Bills. They are 6-point road favorites against the 5-5 Houston Texans. We're going to start with Zach. He's our leader here. Probably to no surprise, he's going, although he did lock Houston last week. He's going the Bills. Bills over the Texans. Only 3 games in NFL history where a QB has 3 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns. 2 were Josh Allen, including last week. Stroud is already ruled out for this game.
yeah, another Davis Mills game. Those rushing numbers for Josh Allen are crazy. He's got I think 75 career rushing touchdowns. I mean, he's getting up there with like great running backs, which is wild. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bills. It is a road game, which gave me a little pause, but the Bills seem to be kind of hitting their stride. So I think they're going to keep it rolling.
Nice. So first and foremost, this is Uni Alert number 1. Houston is going with it's basically all red helmet to all the way to their socks, and it's kind of like a candy apple, shiny red. I think they did it once last year, maybe even against us, if I remember correctly. So I kind of like that look. I'm actually going to go with Houston. I think the defense shows up. Even Davis Mills playing for CJ Stroud, I think he's a solid backup. And Thursday night things get weird, so give me the Texans.
That's a great point. Yeah,
Dang,
Thursday
I feel
home
like
game.
Matt's going to nail this one. I'm on Buffalo. I can't go against them after that, but let's remember they got embarrassed by the Dolphins and they got beat by the Falcons not too long ago. This defense is very susceptible. Now you got Davis Mills and company, so it's not super threatening in my eyes, but that defense alone, number 1 defense in the league, I think by a lot of metrics. So I don't mind that, Matt, for sure. Matt's going solo to start the week. Let's go. All right.
Ooh.
We got the Pittsburgh Steelers, 6-4, leading their division at Chicago, the Windy City, who's 7-3, also leading their division. Both teams division leaders, and they're not favored to win the division by Vegas odds. Little fun fact there.
Yeah.
Chicago is a 2.5-point home favorite. Zachary, he's going Bears over the Steelers. He says Aaron Rodgers has a fractured left wrist, and the Steelers might still start him as opposed to the back off Mason Rudolph. Kind of tells you everything you need to know. Bears are 7-3 with a negative 6-point differential, but are at home.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I wonder how long the Bears can go with having a negative scoring differential. But yeah, they have the momentum. They're leading the division. This kind of reminds me maybe a little bit of the Lions 3 years ago when they really were just playing free, no pressure, kind of no one's expecting much of them. So I'm going to go Chicago. I think Pittsburgh, especially, I mean, if Rodgers is out, they're toast. But yeah, Bears are at home. I think they keep it going for one more week at least.
Nice. I actually just changed my pick about 10 seconds ago, so not sure what I'm going to talk about here. So the reason being, so I was going Chicago. I'm going to take Pittsburgh now. So I just, from time to time, it just feels like Mike Tomlin always comes out and wins a game that they're not favored in, and they're on the road and no one thinks, much of them. A month ago, I thought Pittsburgh was going to be a sure thing over this, but now that they're an underdog, I still think they're going to get a little bit gritty on the defense, and they kind of win these weird games. Pittsburgh does. Obviously Chicago's kind of they're rolling right now, unfortunately, but give me Pittsburgh.
Nice. Yeah, and we got to remember Aaron Rodgers does own the Bears, right? I think him being questionable was big for me. It's really going to come down to his play. Both defenses are pretty bad overall, despite Chicago getting a lot of turnovers, and Pittsburgh should have a good D line, right? But just this year overall, they haven't been. Neither defenses have been super impressive. Also, Chicago's secondary is dealing with all sorts of injuries. Some may be returning, some may not. Kind of seems like a mess. With that said, I'm going to ride Chicago. I don't know why I pick them every week. I'm like, they're gross. They don't win clean games, but they win, So I'll keep going with Benny Johnson and Caleb Johnson, if you will. We got to clip all those Caleb Johnsons and make a little
Isn't
short
it
of
like,
it.
I know Chicago, I forget if it's 3 or 4 games that they've won in the last like minute.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know, or maybe it's even like walk off or something like that. But it's something crazy where if you flip those, and you could say that's a positive or a negative to a team that they get into those situations. But win's a win in this league, so crazy.
This could be their last winnable game, though. After this, they got Philly, at Green Bay, home against Cleveland, so that could be, but Cleveland defense could be, Myles Garrett versus Caleb, home Green Bay, at San Francisco, and home against Detroit. So they got a pretty
18,
tough. That's might come down to that one. All right. New England Patriots. We got the New England Patriots are they 9-2? Am I reading that right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Actually 9-2. So they haven't even had their
are.
bye yet. Woo! They are 9-2, 8-point favorites on the road at Cincinnati, who's 3-7. I didn't check the odds recently because did Burrow practice? I think it said
he practiced. I don't think he's playing.
Okay.
He just started his window yesterday. So
all right. Okay. When I saw that, I was like, wait a tick here. Zach's going Patriots over the Bengals. The Patriots riding an 8-game winning streak, and the Bengals are giving up 33.4 points per game. And that would be an NFL record if it stopped today. So
yeah, and Jamar Chase is suspended.
that's right.
That takes a lot of wind out of the Bengals' sails, but it's a little odd. The Patriots are only favored by 5.5, which to me seems pretty low. So I don't know what the bookies are seeing that I'm not seeing, because I'm going New England. I think they keep it rolling again. I mean, yeah, Drake May, potentially MVP frontrunner. So yeah, give me the Pats.
Yeah, I don't have too much else to add to this. I mean, New England, they're rolling. Drake May is, couldn't look like a better year 2 starter in the league. And Cincinnati, they're, like you said, they're down Jamar. They're down, Joe Burrow still. I don't even know why he's trying to come back this year. I know he's a gamer, but, just kind of let it go. But, yeah, give it the Pats.
I'm with you guys. This is a trap game, especially if Joe ends up playing. So I don't know if he'd be good if he played, but no Jamar Chase, that defense. Yeah.
Trey Hendrickson's doubtful too.
Yeah, I saw that. What's that? Like, he should have been traded, I guess. Like, is he actually injured? Is this part of him, not being happy with how things were handled?
All the above. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. Just being on the Bengals.
Yeah.
This year.
It's like the same thing, different year. Yeah.
All right. Hometown. Raise the roar, as the flag says. 2-9 New York Giants coming in here to Detroit. We are 6-4 and 10-point favorites. You can correct me too on the favorites. I looked at those at like noon today or during lunch, so not sure the accuracy on those. Zach's going Lions over the Giants. The Black Unis at home against a 2-9 team. It's a must win. this has the potential to be scary if the New York Giants pass rush gets going.
Yeah, to me, this is blowout city. Lions, they don't lose back-to-back games. They got pretty well manhandled against Philly. Their offensive line got destroyed. I think they bounce back. I know that offensive line is too proud. They have a great coach in Hank Fraley. I think they're going to get those guys back on the same page. So they're going to run the football right down the Giants' throats. Lions.
Nice. Yeah, give me the Lions too. Zach said it, uni alert number 2. We've got the black. I'll be curious to see if they try to switch it up and go maybe like blue pants, but I doubt they'll do that anytime soon. I think just the all black with the blue helmets are just so clean. So, but always look forward to that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to take the Giants super lightly though, just because, you know, they, to Zach's point, they do have a dirty D line that can get after it, and we do have to establish a run and kind of get that balanced attack going. But I do think we bounce back and, you know, get ourselves in a prime position to, you know, get back at the pack on Thanksgiving. So
yeah, I'm with you guys. Obviously, Detroit here, Giants are the 30th ranked rush defense against the rush, giving up rushing yards per game. We're 6-0 when we rush over 100 yards. So I like our chances here. Jackson Dart does scare me a little bit. I know he's kind of running low. I think he's questionable. I think he's been practicing, though.
Okay.
It's kind of hoping for Jameis.
Yeah, that would be
a
fun.
pick or two.
Yeah, exactly. We need to get some picks. We need some turnovers. The defense is outstanding. Anyway, check out the Honolulu Blue breakdown. I have so much to talk about this game. I look forward to discussing it with these guys here in about an hour. And you guys will see it soon too. So check the link below. I'll put it in the bio this week. We'll see you there if you want to hear more One Pride. All right, let's keep it in our NFC North here. We got the Minnesota Vikings going to Green Bay. Minnesota is, let's see, where are they at? 4-6. Okay. They're at Green Bay, who's 6-3-1. And Green Bay is a 6.5-point favorite. Let's see who Zach's got. Zach's got the Packers. Packers over the Vikings. The Packers have looked a little shaky lately, but so has J.J. McCarthy. And JJ's first Lambeau start will probably not be a confidence builder, though I'm rooting for it, he says.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Zach kind of took the words right off my page there. I said Green Bay sputtering, and JJ really hasn't been good. I'm going to go with the Packers. They're at home, just like Zach said. Rookie quarterback there. Probably going to be tough.
Yeah, no, I agree with both of you. And, you know, Green Bay being at home, you know, it's getting cold out. We're, you know, getting to the end of November. I think this is kind of unfortunately where the past few years they've started to build that, you know, momentum and success and get some wins. And JJ's just been too inconsistent. So yeah, Pack might roll.
Oh my gosh, this is tempting. See, this is what gets me in trouble. Like Matt, I liked the Houston pick, the Pittsburgh pick. Like those are very, you know, plausible solo picks. Going Minnesota here would be too cute.
It's a division game.
It's a division game. I can't do it. These are both top 10 defenses for total yards given up. I think a big one here is Josh Jacobs' status. He's dealing with a little knee issue. He's questionable. I can't remember his practice status. Jaden Reed is, what's that?
I was going to say just something I thought of that might throw a wrench into it. If I'm remembering correctly, JJ's won 2 games as a starter against the Bears and then the Lions. So maybe he's got a thing for beating division teams.
He's the king of the North. Maybe he's the king of the North. Jaden Reed is eligible to return from IR. They haven't started his window yet as of today, Matt LaFleur just said. But look for him to come back. I'm sure they're probably eyeing to get him back for our Thanksgiving game, of course, is what I suspect. Man, do they need some more weapons? Their offense is definitely sputtering. Their defense, though, against JJ, I can't go against that. my question here, I'm not trying to spend too long, but man, we saw the Pasternaut and I almost said Nick Mullins. What who was the QB that threw like 200 yards?
Oh, Matt Flynn.
No. For the Vikings. Matt
Oh.
Flynn destroyed us too as a backup. Who
Nick
am I thinking
Mullins.
of? Is it Nick Mullins?
When?
I wasn't sure.
Oh, last year?
Yeah, or 2 years.
Yeah, I think it's Mullins. He, threw 2 or 3 picks against us, but he bombs the ball.
It was like he could get Jefferson like 200 yards receiving. Why can't JJ do this? Like, where is the disconnect that we saw these random backups off the street getting traded, starting for a team 5 days after being traded and being able to get Justin Jefferson the ball? So I'm wondering why Kevin O'Connell, like, why is this struggling right now? I'm not sure. It's interesting.
I think he has the same questions.
Yeah.
But it could be a game like this where no one's expecting it, and then 9 really emerges and just kind of puts his foot down like, no, I am him. I'm figuring it out now.
Yeah. I mean, he's basically a rookie, so he's going to need time. So
Seahawks going over to Tennessee. Seahawks are 7-3. They're 13.5-point favorites at Tennessee, who's 1-9. Zach's going Seahawks over Titans. Sam Darnold had 4 interceptions against the Rams in a game, and they only lost by 2. And they're playing the Titans, who might be the second best spot to get back on track besides the Bengals defense.
Yeah, this is a time zone game. Just pointing that out there. Heading east for a 1:00 game. Seattle might be a little sleepy, but they are coming off a hard loss. They're obviously one of the best teams in the NFC, so I think they kind of want to get back on track. So last week I tried to get cute and pick the Titans. Almost got that one right, but I'm going to back off them and stay with Seattle here.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Seattle as well. Until Tennessee does, much of anything, I unfortunately can't pick them really this year. I think it might be a little bit closer. Maybe we get some of Cam Ward, balling out finally. But I do think Seattle's going to pull it out.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley's on IR too, so probably one of their most veteran best players out for the year. I'm also going Seattle. My question is, if Tennessee didn't get that like insane lucky, maybe the craziest win against the Cardinals where like the ball was bouncing around and fumbled into the end zone and they got the touchdown, and then something else crazy happened. Like was that over the Cardinals? Or against
I think
the Cardinals?
so.
Oh, the drop ball.
Yeah.
He dropped the ball going into the end zone and Gannon punched him. Like they might have gone winless.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's very possible they might have gone winless. That team is all right. Here's a game.
Ooh.
Indianapolis Colts 8-2. Going over to Kansas City, not far. They're going to Kansas City, who's 5-5, and Kansas City's a 3.5-point home favorite. Zach's on the Chiefs. The Chiefs over the Colts. Will the league actually let the Chiefs fall out of the playoffs race? It doesn't feel like it. I feel like the Chiefs will get every single call in Arrowhead.
Man, me and Zach, we're on the same wavelength here. My note says, will the NFL let the Colts win? Not to, be conspiracy theorists with the Chiefs here, but man, the Colts have an opportunity here to maybe put the nail in the coffin for the Chiefs. But man, I just can't see Mahomes losing a must-win game at home like this, even though I think the Colts are a better team. I'm going to go with Mahomes at home in a game they have to get.
Yeah, no, for sure. I can't agree with both of you enough, but the Chiefs, 5-5. If and when they lose, which again, I don't think they will, just because of the veterans on the team, because they're going to be at Arrowhead. If and when they were to lose, they'd be 5-6, and a somewhat of a tough schedule. They've got the Texans, Cowboys. You never know with them. The Chargers, the Titans, the Broncos, and then they end with the Raiders. But still, that could be a potential, hey, we're out kind of thing. So not technically, but I don't know where I was going with that, but they're basically backs against the wall, so they're going to win.
Yeah, at a very similar note, like it's so obvious it's a must win at home. The refs, the NFL, like they're not going to let KC fall out of the playoffs. But maybe Indy's just the better team here. I mean, the record shows that, and this might be too cute. I'm going Indy. I'm going. I didn't have this one picked, all week. I was leaning KC because it's just the obvious answer. But it's like maybe this is it. Maybe they're on the
Jonathan
downslide.
Taylor goes for like 240 yards, runs all over him. You never know.
I mean, the KC's defense is they're top 10 for yards given up at least. And they got the veterans, I should say. They got the coaches. Mahomes hasn't been great. They can't connect with the deep ball, it seems like. But you know what? I cannot stand every game I watch of the Chiefs. There's maybe 2 to 3 a game where it's just a heave. Underthrown, they come back. When the receiver comes back like through the defender, and it's like the defender's running with them. It was an underthrown ball, and you're gonna give them like 50 yards. It's like clockwork with this team. So expect to look for one of those for a deep shot to Worthy or whoever else. So that drives me nuts. But probably a little risky here. KC. I don't think anyone expects them to lose this one. It's probably going to be playoff atmosphere if the crowd, will understand the severity of this game. So that'll be a fun one. Here's another good one. Or not. We'll see. The New York Jets are 2-8, and they are on the road over to Baltimore. The Baltimore Ravens are 5-5. They've got a little streak going. Baltimore is a 13.5-point favorite. Zach's on the Ravens. Ravens have won 4 in a row after starting 1-5, and Tyrod Taylor is starting. It could make things interesting.
Yeah, Tyrod could give them a little boost. Who knows? They can't really play worse at quarterback. But yeah, I think Baltimore's just starting to find their groove too much. We've kind of talked about it the last couple of weeks that they seem to be back. So I'm going to go with the Ravens at home.
Yeah, I'm going to go there as well. I think it's too obvious. Baltimore, they're rolling. They're kind of climbing back into the playoff conversation. I did see Lamar popped up on the injury report again today with an ankle, it looks like, but it doesn't look like it's super serious, so I'm sure he'll still play. But yeah, give me the Ravens.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson, I think, is on IR as well. I might be wrong there. Maybe he's just out for extended period of time, but I think he's down right now. So best player on your team's out. They traded away 2 of their best defensive players too. Yeah, I'm on Baltimore. I think you guys said it. They're kind of on a roll here. So just looking quickly, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th Hambone guarantee. We are all on Baltimore Ravens, which our record's been pretty good. What's our percentage overall at this point for Hambone guarantees?
We are 48-17, which is 74%. Last week we were 4-0. So
yeah, so not bad.
So we're
when
due
we all
to
get together.
miss one.
Yeah. All right.
Oof.
What's next? Oh yeah, this is an off game for sure. We got the 2-8 Cleveland Browns on the road to the 2-8 Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are a 3.5-point home favorite. Zach is going Browns over the Raiders. Myles Garrett has 15 sacks in 10 games so far this season. Look for him to add 2 to 3 more this week as he makes Geno's life miserable.
Yeah, this is kind of our sickos game, I think. But there is some actually kind of fun little storylines here. So Zach mentioned Myles Garrett. Obviously, the Raiders have Max Crosby. So you got 2 of the better arguably the top 5 pass rushers in the league. Myles Garrett, he is just putting up insane sacks, week to week, and he's starting to climb up the NFL career list, where I was looking at it the other day, and he's just under 80 away from having the most ever. So, I kind of wonder if 5-6 years or so we might be looking at him as the all-time sack king. Also, we have Judkins versus Genty, the 2 rookie running backs that have been doing really well. So this one was tough for me, man. I was thinking Cleveland, but they just don't really have a quarterback. Neither do the Raiders. So I just picked the home team, which is the Raiders. They looked so bad Monday night and made, against Dallas. But yeah, give me the Raiders. Why not?
Yeah. So this is Uni Alert number 3, actually. So Cleveland is going to be wearing. I've seen the white helmets for sure. Typically in the past, what they've done is basically an all white uniform along with that. So I think that's the look that they're going with. It's also Shedeur Sanders' start. He's rolling with the big guns this week. So I think I heard a stat a day or two ago when this was announced that rookie quarterbacks starting for the Cleveland Browns, when their first start is midway through the season and not game 1, over the last, I don't know, however many years, they're 0-17. I might be mistaking that a little bit, based on, when they're playing or whatever, but an 0-17, stat is never a great look. And, I don't know if I would really trust Shedeur right now. So I'm going to take the Raiders as well.
Man, that poor franchise, dude. Like, and that's coming from a bunch of Lions fans. Like, we're all high and mighty. Now we've had 3 good seasons in the last 50 years. No, 20 years. Yeah, I have a buddy who I swam with at OU who's from Ohio. He's a Cleveland Browns fan, and I've always wanted to pick his brain, as it's just like kind of the same vicious cycle over and over again. Yeah, I'm glad you pointed out Shedeur Sanders starts. Pete Carroll, question mark? Like, that was in my notes. Is he just kind of an old head, maybe out of touch a little bit, or you can only do so much with this roster? Or for me, I just went, these teams are both not really exciting or fun to watch or talk about. I'm going with the defense here. I'm going with Zach here on Cleveland. The defense is so good, and I think 2 or 3 is underestimating Myles Garrett versus this O-line. Las Vegas line is almost non-existent at this point, because I don't know if he's in his first or second year. I should know this. Jackson Powers, was it Johnson? I think their center.
Yeah.
He was highly regarded in the draft. I know that was one person that fans were maybe looking at to beef up their O-line a year or 2 ago. He's been on IR, so it's like they're just getting worse there. Poor Genty's, like, you'll see it every time he touches the ball, he's going to have to get through contact like before the line of scrimmage. So I don't know. But you got Genty and Bowers, and Cleveland has Myles Garrett and the defense. Like, I'll move on. I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about there. All right. We got, Jacksonville. Yeah. When I made these graphics, it was long ago. I think it was right after Jacksonville had beat the Chiefs. I was like making it, and they ended up winning. And I didn't have as good as a graphic for them. And I was like, I'm going to have to go back and make them a sick one, because they just took down the Chiefs. And they've been kind of wishy-washy since then, Yeah. But Jacksonville, they're 6-4. They're 2.5-point road favorites at Arizona, who's 3-7. Zach's going Jags over the Cardinals. He doesn't trust either team, and the Jags, coming off possibly their best win of the season, I'll predict they keep rolling over the letdown game.
Yeah, Jacksonville's been they've been a roller coaster. Last week they were on their up. Obviously, Arizona has a bad record, but they've had a brutal schedule. I mean, just looking at their last few games, they played the Colts, Packers, then they played Dallas, but then Seattle, and then the 49ers. So it's like, are they as bad as their record? Probably not. And Jacoby Brissett's been balling out. So I'm going to go with Cardinals. They're at home. I kind of think the Jaguars are an up and down team. I think they do have a little bit of a letdown. So give me Arizona.
Oh, Troy, you're making me think a little bit more than I thought I would on this one. But yeah, Arizona, I don't know what they are, and unfortunately, was it the Seahawks that just beat them up? No, that was a couple weeks ago. Anyways, yeah, Jacksonville, they're, I think, solid. I'm not sure. I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars. Not really sure why, but gosh, Troy, you're making some good points. I'm thinking might be a pre-switch swap. We'll see.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. is out with the appendix issue still. They got Bam Knight starting as a running back. DeMarcado's out. Jags have a strong run defense, and they both have about the same defense. I mean, I think you can throw on the Jags a little bit more than the Cardinals, and the Cardinals should have on paper, I feel like they have a pretty decent defense. It's just they can't seem to win the games at the end of the day. But I do agree they definitely have had a tough schedule. I mean, just look at that NFC West division that's a gauntlet. Like that's definitely, I would say, way more competitive and difficult than the NFC North. NFC North might be, we can get into it later on another day, but it could be a little more fraudulent than what people were, thinking at the beginning of the year. I'm actually going Jags here. This one was tough for me. I wanted to go Cardinals, but I feel like when I pick them, they lose, so I'm just going to stay off them. Matt, you good?
I think I'm good.
Troy, you good?
Yeah, let's roll.
Rolling. I like it.
Let's go. Sorry, I had some weird game show lines like, "You are the weakest link," but that wouldn't fit. And then, like, what do they say? Oh, is that your final answer? Is that the Who Wants to Be?
That's
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Yeah.
You think they still have those shows going on? Like,
I think
those
so.
on?
I think so. Yeah,
kind of cool. Good for them. Good for them. All right, Philly is 8-2. They're 3.5-point road favorites in Dallas. Dallas coming off that big win. They are 4-5-1. Zach's going Eagles over the Cowboys. The Cowboys have a better offense, but the Eagles' defense is elite. Their first meeting this year was the infamous Dak/Carter spitting contest, where Carter was ejected 6 seconds into the game. Expect some bad blood. Man, I did not remember that.
Yeah, totally forgot about that one. Yeah.
Oh, that was week 1.
Yeah.
Opening night.
Yeah, I'm with Zach here. I'm going Philly. They have an elite defense, like he said. I think Saquon gets back on track. He's, we saw it in the Lions game. They held him in check for the most part, and he's kind of been held in check all year a little bit. Obviously hasn't gone crazy like last year and against Dallas's defense, although they have, traded for a bunch of D tackles. But I think Saquon gets going and then Eagles roll.
Interesting. I am going to go with the Cowboys. So, divisional game, it's in Dallas. I think the Cowboys are a lot better than their record shows. And Philly just played us, the Detroit Lions, and they're going to be a little tired after that. So give me the Cowboys in a close one.
I'm with you, Matt. I'm on the Cowboys. I thought about this one a little bit.
Nice.
It might be a little cute here. The Eagles' offense is the key. I think if they get going on this bad Dallas defense, then it's game over. But I think Dallas offense is so potent and they're firing right now. They can run the ball. They got a good old line. They got the star receivers. Dak is watching that game a little bit. I'll be honest, I keep falling asleep on the night games other than the Detroit game. I'll fall asleep and I'll wake up as the game in the fourth quarter. I just can't hang these days. But when I'm watching Dak, he is playing great right now. For me, it comes down to that defense. I think the D tackles in the middle, you got, I don't know how all pro level they are now, but they've been all pro in the past. They made a big difference, albeit it was against that terrible Las Vegas O-line. But yeah, the linebackers, they strengthen the spine of the defense. And divisional game, Dallas at home, I just felt like this could be, everyone's like, Philly just beat the Lions, dominating. This could be one where it's like, oh, whoa, Dallas is here. And that makes me nervous because we are yet to play Dallas, correct?
Right. Yeah, that's right after Thanksgiving. So
that makes me nervous. I think we're catching them at a bad time. But we'll get that in a couple weeks here. We are moving to Nolans. So Atlanta's 3-7, division opponent going to New Orleans, who are 2-8. New Orleans is a 1.5-point home favorite. All right, Zach's going Falcons over the Saints. I can't wait to read this. Zach's little quips here for these two teams too. Are the Falcons the most talented 3-7 team ever? So many weapons. Remember when they beat the Bills? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Oh, man.
Well done, Zach.
Yeah. This is going to be Kirk Cousins, right? And I think we announced him as washed like 10 weeks ago. Drake London's doubtful. I'm going with the Saints at home. They're coming off a bye. They got their rookie quarterback, Tyler Shook, an extra week. You know, he got to play, and then he got a week of practice with a bye. I don't know what's happened with Atlanta, man. They've just – I remember before this, we were kind of talking about them as a sneaky, you know, kind of like the Colts, right, where we were talking about the Falcons and the Colts being the upstart teams, and now they're just complete, you know, disaster. So, yeah, I'll go with the Saints.
Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, with Penix, I mean, this is his third knee surgery, you know, over the course of the last 6 years of his career, or something like that. And you know, Kirk Cousins, I don't think has taken his helmet off in the last 10 years. He's just ready to go, man. So I'm actually taking the Falcons. I think Cousins is gonna want to come out with something to prove. He's a veteran. I think he kind of rallies the troops here on the road against kind of a young team. So give me the Falcons.
Yeah, this was a tough one here. Penix, he has a partially torn ACL. I think he needs like surgery to fix it and is out. So,
yep,
man, what a disaster. Like the trade pick and then their record this year. The Rams are going to have a top 10 pick, you know, projected like from that trade. It's quite that from that draft, I should say, or the past couple of drafts. Like, it's just an interesting story all around. Like they went big, got Cousins, then they draft a QB, and then they draft a bunch of edges the next year. Like, I don't know. It's an interesting storyline. How can you like Bijan can just go crazy here? I'm actually with Troy here. I'm going the Saints. Coming off a bye. Their last win was against Carolina, and Carolina's kind of hitting a stride now, possibly. Like I'm not sure if I have them in the next game, but in the next couple of it's just interesting. And there's so much parity. They're coming off a bye. Tyler Shuck, look, he threw some good passes, so I don't know.
Yeah.
No one's got
You almost made me switch though, Matt, with just thinking about, you know, Cousins seems like the kind of quarterback who's going to come out and give it one big week before his body just disintegrates. So I am thinking about like, yeah, you know what? I could see him. Yeah.
I mean, he's just been sitting there watching the last
switch me over.
3 months.
Jordan's going to go loner on the Saints.
I know he's going to get a loner win. So you're welcome, Jordan.
I'll take it. Well, you know what? Now I'm nervous because I feel like I've been a couple solo this year. I said I wasn't going to get cute this week, and now I feel like I'm getting a little cutesy, but all right. I'll take it. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 6-4 going to the LA Rams 8-2. Rams are a 7-point favorite. Woo, at home. Zach, Rams over Bucks. Rams are better on both sides of the ball and are at home. Those are his notes.
Yeah, I mean, remember back to when the Lions played the Bucks, and we were talking about Baker as an MVP front runner, and you know it was kind of like the Bucks were potentially the best team in the NFC. They've now lost 3 of 4. Stafford's probably the MVP leader. He's had 3 straight games with 4 touchdown passes, which is incredible. I'm going to the Rams at home. Yeah.
Yeah, I am too. I kind of think this is going to be a weird game where Tampa kind of makes things interesting at the end. I know they did that a lot at the beginning of the year. But gosh, it just feels like, you know, Stafford is, I feel like this might be his last run kind of thing. And their defense is so good. It's at home. I think that Tampa, I think they do keep it interesting though. I think they got a shot at the end, but I think Rams pull it off. They've been so good lately.
Damn. I'm also on the Rams. They're just rolling. This seems like now that I see us all here, it's like, is this a trap game? This is a Baker revenge game. If you remember, he knocked us out of the playoffs when we had that run at the end, that magical, we ended Rodgers, Green Bay, right? Wasn't that Rodgers last year in Green Bay when Kirby picked him off to end the game in the winner?
Yeah. Oh, I remember. Yeah.
So it's like
You're
Baker,
not talking about us, but yeah.
And Baker, they beat the Seahawks or something, and he was just a backup coming. Yeah.
He was signed on like Thursday.
Yeah.
Do I switch to go along? I love Tampa. They're just letting me down, and the Rams are rolling. It just seems like too obvious of a game, but I'm good.
Gosh, I'm looking at the NFC South right now. I have not done that in probably a month. Like Carolina could win the South. Like they're basically half a game behind Tampa, and Atlanta's not going to do anything. New Orleans is not going to do anything. So could you imagine Carolina hosting a playoff game after, what they've been the last 2 or 3 years? Good for them. Maybe.
Yeah.
Speaking of Carolina,
look at that segue.
Oh yeah, we're still doing this. Monday Night Football, 6-5 Carolina Panthers at the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco is 7-4, and they're 7-point home favorites. Zach is going Niners over the Panthers. What Panthers will show up? He trusts the Niners more at home.
Yeah, West Coast trips are tough. 49ers are at home, just like Zach said. Which Panthers team? I'm going to go with the 49ers because of that.
Oh, man. I'm going to talk for a few seconds, but then I'm not going to pick. I'm going to let Jordan pick because I'm still going back and forth right now. So, San Francisco, they're kind of injured. I mean, not kind of. They are injured. But Brock Purdy's back. It looks like he's kind of back to his old self. San Francisco is so well coached. It's in San Francisco. Prime time Monday night, I believe. So, but Carolina, gosh, they're kind of, they got that belief now that they can stick with people, that they can kind of run with the big guns, and like I just mentioned, maybe kind of take the division over. So we'll see. So I'd be curious to get your thoughts here, Jordan. I don't know if I'm able to pass, but I'm going to pass.
Sure. I actually,
how do I pass? Just say pass.
Just say pass. I didn't choose yet. I'm leaning. There was a few games I have not chosen. Indy, KC, this game. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm leaning San Francisco. I think that's the smart choice here. But listen to a few of these notes. San Francisco is a bottom 8 in total yards defense. So total yards given up, they're bottom 8 this year. And I think it's the injuries catching up to them. Right? No Fred Warner, no Bosa. And Bryce Young had one of his best NFL games. It went into overtime, but he was 31 of 45. He threw for 448 and 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He had explosive plays. It looked good. If you remember last year, the Carolinas came on hot, and that's why people were kind of expecting Bryce to take a big step forward, but then they came out stinky. But maybe they're just like, they're a back half team, like maybe it takes Bryce a little bit to get going, and now he's going to turn it on here. And they're only a half game against Tampa. Tampa's on the road against the Rams. Like, this is a prime spot for Carolina to make that playoff push and take a hold of the division, because it's between them and Tampa. Man, you're going to
I've got my pick if you need a second, Jordan.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna go 49ers. I was just looking at their schedule. They barely beat the Falcons. They lost to the Saints. They did pull it out against the Packers. Got railed by the Bills. Anywho, I think they're gonna get out coached. I think Shanahan's gonna have a plan for Bryce Young.
All right, we'll lock San Francisco, Dougie. I feel like I went against San Francisco last week or 2 weeks ago. I got to trust them. They're a good team. They're a good coach. They're a good team. Purdy's back. CMC. We'll go.
NFC West, man. They're so strong.
That's a strong division. They could have 2 teams in the NFC Championship. I don't know if it can line up like that or not, but
yeah, the NFC wild card is going to be crazy.
7 locks this week.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Hambonez, we're feeling ourselves. Here's our bye weeks. We got Denver sitting pretty on their bye. Chargers limping in. Washington limping in. Is Miami does Miami have a shot? Is Miami good now? Let's take a look really quick. I know we're running low on time, but they're 4-7. They're 4-7. They've won 3 of the last 4. They don't have a crazy hard schedule to end the year. Oh, they got Bills in New England. Oh, nah, never mind. Interesting.
I like that Denver graphic. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Locks. All right, here's our individual locks. We can't use the same team twice in a year. We're running low on teams. This week, I'm predicting we'll see some repeats. So I guess we'll see. Zachary, of course, going 10, and he is locking in the Seahawks over the Titans. It's gonna take me a minute here to find it.
That was the one I was contemplating as well, but I instead went Patriots over Bengals.
Ooh.
And got to go 10. Got to keep up with Zach.
Oh
yeah, whack-a-mole, man. Goodness.
What was that? Patriots.
Patriots. 10.
Goodness.
Right.
Okay. You know, I talked about this game being close, and I was gonna potentially go Seahawks, but gave me the Rams at 10. I don't see a world where they lose
over the Bucs.
I don't know. Just want to, make myself lose a little bit more sleep.
Why can I not find these guys today? Where are you? Okay. Well, it's not quite as clear as I thought. I thought there was 2 very obvious choices here. I had 2 that I was going to choose from. Let me look, because one of them was the same as Zach's. Should I switch it up just for fun? Yeah, let's do it. I can probably use Seattle on a different day.
You could lock the Colts.
Ooh, I could. Or should I lock? Who's Green Bay going against? Should I lock the Vikings?
Ooh.
I'll go Baltimore.
Let me
I haven't used them yet, right? Baltimore over your.
You have not.
Okay.
You have not used them.
That was kind of just like off the cusp there. Nice. There's our locks of the week. You have it right here. We're all going 10s again. Big money. Zach just started a trend. We're running with it.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, we all kind of have to. Otherwise, we're hosed.
I know. We got to catch them.
Yeah.
Nice. Thanks for joining. Again, as always, it's been a blast. We hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving. I guess we still doing an episode Wednesday night. We're going to do Thanksgiving, or we might need to bump that up, or you guys good?
Yeah, well, well, whether it's Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll make it happen. We don't need those Hambonez to, be left out for a week.
Yeah, no days off, no weeks off, no days off. We work hard, we play hard, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Ball out.
Yo, you ever heard of the man in the mist? Not a ghost, not a myth, but he never gets missed. Zach in the shadows, rolling them dice. When he drops a bait, you don't gotta ask twice. He ain't in the photos, but he's always in the game. Whispers in the chat, yeah, you all know the name. Moves like a phantom, but the stakes are real. When Zach calls a play, you know the room gon' feel. I roll a low profile, bets like a storm. He's the wild card analyst, breaking every norm. Everybody's waiting on the ghost in the room. Zach's got the numbers and he's bringing the boom. You won't see him coming, but you know when he's near. High roller energy, make the haters disappear. He's a legend in the group chat, never on cam. But when he drops a pick, everybody's like, damn. Stats in his mind, poker face on lock. He's the wild card, baby, always ready to shock. Everybody's waiting on the ghost in the room. Zach's got the numbers and he's bringing the boom. You don't see him coming, but you know when he's near. High roller energy, make the haters disappear. So here's to the fan, I'm the man with the plan. Zach's in the building, you just don't understand. He's the wild card analyst, the legend unseen. But when the chips fall, he's the king of the scene.